Hey, it's the Screen Team, and we are doing some movie reviews for you, both old and new. And we've got an old one for you from back in the, I think around 2008 or so. Movie's called Marley Me, starring Owen Wilson and Jennifer Aniston. And to help us review it, I've got Angie on the panel. And Angie, let's talk about Marley and Me. Are you a fan of this movie?
I don't want to give anything away, but the end was not fun.
The end was very emotional.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
I would definitely say bring a box of Kleenex with you if you ever see it.
All right. So I'm assuming you rewatched it for this review. Did you have the same experience watching it at the end? Were you still emotionally driven at the very end of this movie?
Yes, I was.
All right, well, let's skip the ending a little bit. Let's not talk about the ending right now. Let's talk about the beginning of the film. We have Owen Wilson. He stars in this film. He is he and his we kind of see Owen Wilson and Jennifer Aniston. They're a couple together. They're both writers for newspapers, correct?
That's correct.
And go ahead.
I think Jennifer Aniston they're like moving from, they get married and they're living in like a wintry place, and then Jennifer Aniston gets a job. I can't remember where. I think they're in California or somewhere. So
no, I think it was Florida.
In Florida, okay. Yeah. In Florida, and she gets an interview with a job, and he's trying to find something. And he basically gets hired by, a newspaper and does bits and pieces to begin with.
Yeah, he was hired to be a columnist, and that's not something he really wanted to do. He wanted to be more of a, an on-scene reporter, breaking some big news and going on the front line and that kind of stuff. And they hired him for his opinion on quirky little news stories.
Right.
So we've got Owen Wilson, we've got Jennifer Aniston. We see them early on in their marriage, and they don't have any kids yet, so they kind of decide to get a dog to kind of fill that kid need, right?
Yeah, one of his buddies says, "Oh, she wants a kid. How about you get a dog first, because you're not ready for a kid yet." So he takes Jennifer Aniston to the house with a bunch of dogs, and they discover the bargain store puppy, basically the runt of a litter. And
that was Marley, right?
Correct, that was Marley.
All right, so we learn from the very, very beginning that Marley is a very neurotic dog. He gets into a lot of trouble from the very beginning. Is that right?
Right. He's very curious. He likes to take things apart and destroy things, and just a very curious dog. Very curious and neurotic.
All right, so if you have a dog like that, why not take him to a trainer and get him trained so he's not as rambunctious as he was?
Oh, they took him to a trainer played by Kathleen Turner in the movie. And basically, Marley flunked out of training school the first day.
He flunked out, huh?
Right. So he's not behaving. He's doing what he wants. He wants to go play, and he's a typical lab.
So from that point on, our main characters kind of realize that Marley is just going to be Marley. So they kind of have to live with it, right?
Right. They take care of him how they see fit, and life happens, and Marley's there, and through all this neuroticness, Owen Wilson's character actually writes stories about Marley, which is very important because I believe this was kind of based on a true story.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. Based on a true story, and the readers of this newspaper got to know Marley. It was a very personal experience with both of those characters, right?
Right, because there's a lot of people who can relate to neurotic dogs.
I being one of them for sure. And you too. You too. You've got.
But we love Jack.
Yeah. So we're both dog lovers, with the exception of the very end of this movie. Do you like Marley and Me?
I think it's a good movie to watch. It's very wholesome. Owen Wilson doesn't get what he wants in life to begin with, but then he realized that he got what he needed out of life. He gets his family. He has 3 children at the end, and he's happy.
He got something better.
Right.
Were you a fan? Are you a fan of Owen Wilson's performance in this film?
I thought he was pretty good.
What about Jennifer Aniston?
She was pretty good too. They both play like she just played her, I guess, standard of character, like the mom or the typical girl next door, I guess.
Sure.
So she's good at playing that, but yeah, it was nice to see the dynamic between them and the dog, and like how their life unfolded having the dog with them.
Do you have any favorite scenes from the movie?
One of the favorite is probably, all his mischief. Owen Wilson gets Jennifer Aniston a necklace, and she lays it down. All of a sudden, you see Marley having the necklace in his mouth, and he decides to eat it.
And so Owen Wilson
chases the dog around.
And then Owen Wilson has to recover it a couple days afterwards, right?
Correct.
All right, let me ask you this one final question. Do you have any desire to see Marley and Me again anytime down the line?
It's probably good here and there. I'll watch it sparingly, just because.
Okay. The movie is called Marley and Me, starring Owen Wilson and Jennifer Aniston, and you can find it wherever you find movies, okay? Angie, thanks for being on the show.
All right, thank you.
All right, the movie's called Marley and Me. That's Angie. I'm Chris. We're part of the Screen Team, and remember, we want you to know before you go.